When the government demands information from Verizon, instead of hanging up, the company forks over millions of customers' records. Of course, it had no choice, we're told. But when congressional panels want info from the IRS or documents from Eric Holder, well, they can hold them off, right, for God knows how long. Nothing happens to them. Gretchen, you say not just.
Well, it seems like the government has no definition of privacy anymore. I mean, they just took our records, and here they are. They've got our records, and you have to just wonder, where is then candidate Obama, then Senator Obama, who had this passion for making sure that the government was transparent, that the government wasn't getting in our way, that the government was out of our life. And here we just see that every single day it seems like the government is doing more and more and more in our lives, and that our privacy is becoming less and less and less really privacy.
You know, Adam, what I don't understand with Republicans on this issue, you know, it was a Republican president who came up with the Patriot Act. It was a Republican president who pushed, in the name of protecting us, a policy that would call for now and then, well, spying on us. So what are you whining about?
And it was a Democratic president who began spying on the American people and getting all these...
No, I don't think it began with this president.
But
no, let's be clear, this is a Republican-Democrat issue.
Yeah, well, I mean, what happened was, one can argue, you know, a lot of Republicans were outspoken against the Patriot Act
for this very reason.
Implemented.
But it is what it is, and it is started. But what I guess what I want to know, Steve, is whether it's now officially out of control. And I think to Gretchen's point, there's enough blame to go here, but something that started with maybe a good intention to protect us is now, well, 100+ million American phone records.
You know, I am gratified to see across the political spectrum now concern about this kind of stuff. Many Democrats, liberals, and libertarians, like you had Ron Paul earlier, who have been concerned about this since the days right after 9/11 when all this kind of stuff happened. Actually, believe it or not, my opinion is it's slightly better than it was a few years ago. We used to have warrantless wiretapping and seizing of records. Now at least we have people going through a FISA court where there's some accountability.
I love you dearly, but now we have an IRS that's going after groups and individuals. We have a Justice Department that's going after reporters, and you're saying things are actually getting better now.
In terms of privacy.
So just because someone is asking your permission before you shamelessly rake them over the privacy coals, that is a difference?
Well, I'm not saying that I love it. I'm saying it's slightly better than warrantless.
That's better. That's showing up at Pearl Harbor on December 8th and saying, boy, look, it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Actually, Pearl Harbor could have been worse. But
you're precious.
This is sort of an indefensible situation that we have here. I mean, I can argue as a Republican.
If you had to dial that back, then the alternative is to compromise, presumably, our security a little bit.
Well, first of all, let's talk about where the IRS fits into our security. I'm all for, targeting, what ostensibly would be bad guys.
Right.
What the IRS did, and ostensibly these Verizon phone records, I'd be hard-pressed to argue that all of those phone records come from people who pose imminent national security
threats. Well, not when you have over 100 million Americans. That I understand. But part of the bigger picture to me, Gretchen, is the risk you have of a government that means well that just runs amok and gets out of control. If there's one common theme that spills over in all of these agencies leveraging off their power, it's that. Too big, too powerful.
Yeah, too big, too powerful, doesn't even know what they're doing. I mean, look at Eric Holder signing an affidavit that he doesn't even remember signing, or maybe, that's just unbelievable.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. He signs a lot of papers, Attorney General of the United States. He might have forgot that. I'm going to spy on James Rosen.
No, he may have forgot about it, but this is that's taking a big step.
James Rosen is a common name.
You were about to go and look into a reporter.
J. Rosen,
common name, yeah.
You're
about to go and do something the government has never done before, and you just forget that you signed an affidavit. But let's think about this. They're going to have our health care records. You think about privacy, about who we're calling, think about our health care records, and that the government's going to have those as well.
So you say this should be an impetus to go slow and stop, and Steve, you say that we're mixing signals.
I think we are, and I think in Holder's defense, this distinction means something to prosecutors, probably not too much to us, but he was investigating, not prosecuting, and that's the difference.
Oh, please, he has no defense. First of all, he hasn't been there's no defense.
No, that's exactly a big difference.
Such a liability for the Obama administration.
Let me tell you, it means a big difference to the person being investigated. It makes a big difference to that person that they're being investigated and not prosecuted.
You think that this now came to light, that James Rosen is better off now that it came to light, because had this not come to light, I think his fanny would be fried.
I don't think it's better or worse for him. I mean, I think but I think it's definitely better than.
This is what the meaning of the word is.
No, I think it's better than being prosecuted.
All right.
But one thing leads to another. This is an indefensible act that Eric Holder did, and we can't find him. We need that spy plane to find Eric Holder.
We don't know.
We don't know, but it goes to the bigger point.
We don't know. I wish we had more time because this much I do know. Tomorrow I know I'm going to be asking Mitt Romney about this. On Friday, tomorrow, he's the only guy you could find on Fox and only Fox. We want to get to the bottom of what's going on. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. Do you think he's looking at all these scandals and saying, you think they could have broken a little earlier? Tomorrow.